In small American towns, everything looks simple and safe. Smiling neighbors, neat lawns, quiet streets. But behind this picture, secrets often hide. Secrets no one wants to talk about. Hannah Blake, 19 years old, a student, an athlete, the life of the party. On social media, her life looked perfect. Dances, parties, a shining smile. Her last TikTok video, full of joy and laughter. The next day, no one saw her again. Police said there were no signs of a crime. Maybe Hannah just left. But those who knew her understood. She wasn't the kind of girl to disappear without a word. Rumors spread through the town, while her family and friends were left without answers. I decided to look into it myself. Conversations with her friends revealed too many contradictions. Some swore Hannah dreamed of New York and might have run away. Others insisted she always shared her plans and never kept secrets. The deeper I went into her life, the more cracks I found in the perfect picture. Among her photos and posts, I stumbled upon a hidden account with her initials. It was nothing like her main page. No dances, no smiles, only confessions. She wrote that someone was watching her, that she was afraid, that no one would believe her. That changed everything. The first suspect was her boyfriend, Jake. He seemed calm, repeating that everything between them was fine. But in his voice, there was something false, and on his hand, I noticed a fresh scratch that he tried to hide. Then, I found the surveillance footage. The night Hannah disappeared, she didn't get into Jake's car. She got into a black pickup truck, and the driver wasn't her boyfriend. Soon after, I received a message on my phone. Stop before it's too late. Someone was watching me too. I kept digging. In hushed voices, people in town whispered a name. A respected businessman, a benefactor, the owner of local stores, someone trusted for decades. Mr. Caldown. Everyone knew, no one spoke. At an abandoned warehouse, I found proof that couldn't be ignored. Hannah's phone, her jacket, signs she had been there. Caldown didn't deny it. He only said, she came on her own. Girls always want attention. But that was a lie. It was evil, hiding behind respectability and power. Hannah was found, alive but broken. The fear in her eyes showed what she had endured and that it would stay with her forever. This story shook the town. People who once admired Mr. Caldown now claimed they had always suspected something, but they stayed silent. Sometimes the scariest things don't hide in dark alleys, but behind familiar faces we trust the most. Hannah came home, but changed, and I recorded this story to remind you. Every year in the United States, hundreds of thousands of people go missing. Many never return, and behind every disappearance lies a question. Who's more guilty, the one who commits the crime, or those who look away and pretend nothing is happening? In every town, there are houses people avoid, places whispered about in hushed voices. On Ash Street, there was one of those houses. For years, it stood empty. Windows boarded up, yard overgrown. Locals said it was cursed. Kids dared each other to spend a night inside. None ever did. And then, one winter night, the house caught fire. By the time firefighters arrived, it was too late. The building collapsed in on itself, and with it, the town's darkest secret began to surface. At first, authorities called it accidental. Old wiring, maybe squatters inside. But something didn't add up. There were no squatters. and the fire started in the basement, a place no one had entered in years. I began digging into the house's history. Records showed it once belonged to the Harlow family, a couple and their 2 children. They lived there in the late 1980s, and then they vanished. No moving trucks, no forwarding address, just gone. Neighbors said the family left suddenly, in the middle of the night. Others claimed they never left at all. Rumors spread that arguments were heard, that the children cried, that strange smells came from the basement. And after that night, no one saw the Harlows again. The town moved on, the house decayed, until the fire brought it back into focus. When investigators combed through the wreckage, they found something chilling. In the basement, beneath the ashes, were bones, human bones. Tests confirmed they belonged to at least 3 individuals. 1 adult, 2 children. The discovery shook the town to its core. The story they'd buried for decades was now burning in the open. Who set the fire? Why now, after so many years? Some believe it was to destroy the last evidence of a crime. Others think the house itself held too many memories, and someone wanted it erased forever. But the truth is harder. Police reports suggest Mr. Harlow was drowning in debt. Neighbors recalled constant fights between him and his wife. And the children? They were often left alone, afraid. Did tragedy strike one night in that house, covered up and hidden beneath the floorboards? Did the father snap? Or was it someone else entirely? We may never know. What remains are ashes, bones, and silence. The official case is still under investigation. The house on Ash Street is gone, but for the people who lived in that town, its shadow will always remain. Because sometimes the scariest things aren't the haunted houses of children's stories. They're the ones built by human hands, and the secrets we choose not to see. In the world of aviation, every flight is a calculated risk, but sometimes even the most routine journeys end in mystery. Flight 47 was scheduled for a short domestic trip. The aircraft, a small commuter plane, departed on time. The pilot, Michael Hayes, was young, experienced, and respected by his colleagues. Everything was normal until the plane vanished from radar. Not for minutes, not for hours, gone, as if it had never existed. Authorities initially suspected a technical failure. Weather reports were clear. The plane was well maintained, yet no wreckage was found, no distress signal, no emergency call, nothing. I started digging. Michael's colleagues described him as careful, meticulous, someone who would never take unnecessary risks. Friends mentioned he had been uneasy in the days before the flight, but no one knew why. In the world of aviation, every flight is a calculated risk, but sometimes even the most routine journeys end in mystery. Flight 47 was scheduled for a short domestic trip. The aircraft, a small commuter plane, departed on time. The pilot, Michael Hayes, was young, experienced, and respected by his colleagues. Everything was normal until the plane vanished from radar. Not for minutes, not for hours, gone, as if it had never existed. Authorities initially suspected a technical failure. Weather reports were clear. The plane was well maintained, yet no wreckage was found, no distress signal, no emergency call, nothing. I started digging. Michael's colleagues described him as careful, meticulous, someone who would never take unnecessary risks. Friends mentioned he had been uneasy in the days before the flight, but no one knew why. Some believe the plane crashed somewhere remote, never to be found. Others think Michael tried to expose a secret, only to pay the ultimate price. What we do know, the truth remains out there, somewhere between the radar blips, the emails, and the empty sky. Flight 47 reminds us that sometimes the greatest dangers aren't the storms or the engines. They're the secrets people keep, and the lengths some will go to hide them. National parks are places we visit to escape, to breathe fresh air, and to feel alive. But sometimes the wilderness hides dangers that go far beyond nature itself. Ethan Cole was a travel blogger with a large following. His videos captured breathtaking landscapes, campfires under the stars, and the thrill of adventure. His audience trusted him, followed his journeys, and shared in his excitement. One morning, Ethan posted a short video from the forest. He smiled at the camera, but his eyes, they were uneasy. "I think I heard someone following me," he said. That was the last time anyone saw him. Search teams were dispatched immediately, combing the trails, rivers, and cliffs. Hours turned into days. Weeks passed, and still there was no sign of Ethan. Authorities suggested he may have gotten lost, but his gear was well prepared. His experience level was high. Something didn't add up. I began investigating. Friends recalled strange phone calls, messages that seemed coded, and hints that someone had been watching him online. Not just fans, but someone closer, someone with a grudge. Trail cameras in the park captured fleeting images of a shadow moving where it shouldn't have been. A campsite left untouched, a backpack hanging on a tree branch. Signs of a presence that didn't belong. As I pieced together Ethan's movements, I discovered the park's hidden secrets. Areas closed to visitors, safety warnings ignored, reports of missing hikers buried in paperwork. The wilderness was not only unpredictable, it was being mismanaged. Then came the breakthrough, a forgotten diary hidden in his bag, found by rangers days later. Ethan wrote about feeling followed, about discovering a group operating illegally in the park. He hinted at wanting to expose them. It became clear. Ethan's disappearance was no accident. He had stumbled upon something someone wanted to remain secret. Today, Ethan's case remains unsolved. Search parties continue occasionally, but the forest keeps its secrets. His followers remember him not just for the beauty he captured, but for the warning his journey left behind. Sometimes, the wild isn't dangerous because of what lives there. It's dangerous because of what humans hide within it.